What's going on, guys? What's going on? Let me just get this ready. So we'll do this. All right. There we go. All right. That's good enough. My head's going to be covering some of the cards, but let me lower this here. Let me see. Maybe, yeah, that's probably good placement. I'll tell you what they are. So what's going on, my friends? Albie with Albie Fitness Gaming, and today we're going to be playing some Magic the Gathering. We're going to be playing some Modern. And the deck of choice today is going to be Green White Maverick, aka, well, it's not Value Town, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. So I haven't played Magic since like the middle of 2019, so it's been about a year and a half. So there's a lot of new stuff going around, so we're just going to stick to the things that I know, which is Green White. I've been playing Maverick Legacy since like back 2007, and I've always enjoyed these style of decks. Now, let me tell you a little backstory on Green White Company. So when Collected Company was first printed, people immediately started putting their old Maliropod decks, because Birthing Pod was banned, into the Collected Company shell. Now, there was always a green-white version of the deck that wasn't combo-oriented, which played neither the Reliquaries, Loxodon Smiters, your Kozali Pride Mages, your Scavenging Ooze, your Voice of Resurgence. But those decks weren't really that popular, because the Maliropod decks were the decks of choice when it came to Collected Company. Now, the deck was actually really good. I remember in my store where I used to play, people would play it. I would play it, and it was a really good deck. But because Malira Company was such a popular deck, it kind of overshadowed this deck. Fast forward, while Nikado gets unbanned, people start playing it now Naya colors with Lightning Bolts, Tarmogoyfs, and Loxodon Smiters, and the deck is just now like a mid-range aggressive deck, I guess you can say. And then a man by the name of Todd Stevens decides that he is going to replace Loxodon Smiters, jam in some Courser of Crufix, replace the Tarmogoyfs with Voice of Resurgence, and then replace other cards like cards that used to get played, Kitchen Finks, Eternal Witness, Aven Mind Sensor, which were all kind of like Hate Bear-ish type cards, with things like Tireless Tracker and Ramanap Excavator to kind of give it that Value Town feel, and that's how the Value Town deck, all in a nutshell, pretty came to be. But the core of the deck was always a green-white Hate Bear Company style deck. That was the origin, and that came from the deck Maverick, which was in Legacy. So in this deck here, this is more of a Legacy Maverick style original OG green-white version of the deck. So let's go through it here. So for the lands, we have Dried Arbor, we have 3 Forests, we have Gavany Township, we have Ghost Quarter, we have 2 Horizon Canopies, 2 Plains, 2 Temple Gardens, 4 Windswept Heath, 3 Wooded Foothills. The Dried Arbor we are playing because we do have equipment here. Also, it's an additional creature for our Gavany Township and for our Collected Company. Gavany Township, we're going to try to flood the board. We have a lot of mana dorks, and it's going to be a really good card for the late game. And then, of course, we have our Ghost Quarter, which is mainly more of a utility land here to get rid of lands that our opponent has that may be causing us problems. It can also be used to make our night bigger or to get more clues with the Tireless Tracker. It's also really good with Ravenap Excavator because you can continue using your Ghost Quarters, and you have Path to Exile, so eventually you can run them out of basics. And then of course Horizon Canopy, a really good card in this deck. You can continue using it with your Ravenap Excavator, and this keeps you from flooding. Then all the other lands are pretty basic. As for the spells, we have of course 4 Path to Exiles, then we have the 4 Collected Companies. Pretty standard stuff there. Then as for the equipment package, actually let's go here. So we have the 2 birds, 4 Noble Hierarchs. We're not playing any Giver of Ruins. In Maverick you play Mother of Ruins because you want to protect your Hate Bears. In Modern there's a lot more removal, and Giver of Ruin is good, but in this deck we're kind of trying to go, we're more concerned about going wide and beating down, and then with a little bit of disruption. Where in Legacy, like you can like Windmill Slam a Thali on turn 2 off of a Noble Hierarch and Wasteland, and you literally win the game. Modern doesn't play that way because we don't have Wasteland. We have Ghost Quarters, and Modern decks are not like glass cannons like they are in Legacy. So instead we're just trying to power out our 3 drops and our Collected Company, and then these are backed up with nice equipment and Gavany Town shipped. Then we have, of course, the 4 Stoneforge Mystics to go ahead and grab our equipment, and also we can use it as a creature to attach it. Then we have our Thalia Guardian of Thraben. Now, Thalia Guardian of Thraben is not one that you see a lot in Collected Company decks because people are afraid that, hey, if you play Thalia, you're going to be playing 5 mana for your Collected Company. That is true. But when you do play Thalia, keep in mind you are slowing down your opponent as well. And if they're playing a lot of cantrips, a lot of 1 mana spells, a lot of 2 mana spells, the pain that they're going to be going through, paying extra mana, is going to take them extra turns to get to where they're trying to get versus you paying 5 mana. And because you have things like all these mana dorks, you have Scrib Ranger, which allows you to like double use a mana dork and play additional lands. Not an additional land, but replay your lands if you don't have a land to play. And Knight of Reliquary, it is very easy to ramp up to 5. But paying 5 for a Collected Company is not that bad when your opponent has to pay, 2 mana for all their 1 spells, and a deck that usually is trying to run, multiple spells a turn is now only playing 1. So you're setting them back a lot more than you're setting yourself back. It also buys you time because this deck can be a little slow. Then of course you have your utility creatures, you have your Scavenging Ooze, you have your Scrib Ranger. Scrib Ranger is really good with mana dorks. You're able to untap your mana dorks, return your forest, replay your forest if you don't have a land, so that's a nice little ramp there. You also have a nice little interaction here with Dryad Arbor because Dryad Arbor is a forest and a creature. So you can technically block with your Dryad Arbor, return the Dryad Arbor back to your hand, and not take any damage. It can also avoid your opponent if they're trying to use a Batterskull to gain life, because it doesn't deal combat. The combat damage doesn't go through, so they don't gain any life. It's also used very well with Tireless Tracker because, again, you could return your forest if you don't have a land, replay your forest, and create clue tokens. With Knight of the Reliquary, there's a lot of combat tricks where you could untap the Knight in response or attack, and then untap the Knight, reuse the Knight. It can get pretty insane with Knight of the Reliquary. Then we have Skyclave Operation. I haven't used this card personally, but this card, just from reading it, seems insane, especially in this style of deck. One of the things that you struggle when you would play these decks back in the day is that you had to rely a lot on Quasali Pride Mage to get rid of artifacts and enchantments. And then you're only really running 4 Path to Exile, so a lot of the time you would run like an additional Eternal Witness to kind of be your 5th path if needed. This card like covers all of that, right? It covers everything that you struggle covering. This card is really good in the deck. And then of course we have Ravenap Excavator to recur your lands, Tireless Tracker for value, and of course Knight of the Reliquary. This is what makes the deck here. For equipment, we have Batterskull, we have Sword of Fire and Ice, Maul of the Skyclaves. I haven't used this equipment yet, but I see a lot of HATEBEARS style decks using it. Seems pretty good, so we're going to be trying it out today. Real quick on the sideboard here, pretty self-explanatory. Graveyard Hate, Combo Hate, As far as Knight of Autumn, this is to, get rid of enchantments and artifacts, but mainly to gain life. I would like to place Ariok Champion here, but they're like $50 on Moto, so we're just going to go with these budget versions for now since we're just playtesting. Voice of Resurgence, this card is really good against the Jund decks and other grindy decks, and then of course Collector Uth, and then you have your Pithing Needle on a stick here. You have, for example, Revoker to kind of hit Planeswalkers, any other things that we may have problems with. Alright, well there's the deck. Let's go ahead and jump into some games here. So let's start off with, some casual play here, just to get warmed up. Alright, so we have 2-lander. This is a keep. Our opponent's going to play first. So we're going to obviously lead here with a Noble Hierarch, and then depending on what they play, if we can read what they're playing, we're either going to lead with a Stoneforge Mystic to put some pressure or a Thalia to slow them down. Opponent is deciding whether or not they're going to keep. If we do play the Stoneforge Mystic, depending on what they play first is what equipment we're going to get. I mean, most likely 9 times out of 10 we're going to go grab a Batterskull. And the good thing about this deck is that you can easily cast Batterskull and equip it to your creatures. Alright, not sure what's going on with our opponent here. Alright, let's get out of here. I don't think this person is ready to play. I don't play a lot of Moto. Hopefully this is not how it is. Okay, this person is deciding whether or not they're going to go first. Alrighty then. Okay, I was about to say Jesus. We will keep this. So, pretty basic start here. What we want to be doing, Mana Dork into we have a threat. We have some ramp, and then we have some value. And a threat as well. Opponent plays a forest, okay. Probably some type of land destruction deck, I'm assuming. Some Gruul. Save our fetch land for our Tireless Tracker. Normally, if we didn't have Tireless Tracker in our hand, I would crack the fetch. That way we have a bigger knight when we do play him, or play her. What is this? Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter. And draw a card. Okay, that's pretty good. So, the question is, so we can Ghost Quarter here, and do we path this guy? So I think what we want to do here, we're not going to Ghost Quarter. What we're going to do is we're going to, let's go with a Temple Guardian. Let's take some damage here. We're going to cast the Stoneforge Mystic, grabbing a Batterskull, and then we're going to path their guy. And the reason I want to do this here is because I want to start pressuring my opponent. Actually, you know what? We can probably go with this sword here. Since it gets equipped and we can get in now, the Batter Skull is probably better, I think. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna path on their upkeep. Actually, can we put a stop? How do you put a stop here? Is that stop? I think that's how you do it. That's unfortunate. They're probably going to get a free card off of us here. Because of that. That's fine. Upkeep, you may cast a permanent spell from your hand with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the highest converted mana cost among other permanents you control without paying. Okay. Skyclave would be nice right now, or Quasali Pride Mage. Okay. So we can get the Batter Skull here. So let's go ahead. Get rid of this. Maybe. Yeah, I think we... Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually next turn going to play, well, at the end of their turn, we're going to play the Batter Skull. Well, we're going to play the Scrib Ranger, untap the Noble Hierarch, and play the Batter Skull. In Search of Greatness. This is a new card. Your upkeep, you may cast a permanent spell from your hand without cost. Alright, so from my understanding they can play... Okay, so it's other permanents. So they have to cast a spell here. And then they're not going to get any value out of this card right now. So many new cards, folks. Power is equal to your devotion to green. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional encounter. Okay, I see the gimmick here. Alright, go to end. We'll go ahead and cast a Scrib Ranger here. Hopefully, choose target creature. We'll go here. Choose a forest. Here. Okay. We'll go white. I actually haven't used that interaction, so that could have been really bad for us, actually. Choose an equipment. I have all the stops, man, because I don't really play Moto, and I'm sure I would be misclicking like a beast. Okay, so that guy's a 4/3. Huh. Do we want to we can get in with the Batter Skull. Let's go ahead and get in with the Batter Skull, see if they do anything here. So next turn they're gonna be able to put in something pretty large for free. The question is whether or not there's some sort of combo deck or if they're just like a value deck. If they're just a value deck, we're going to be fine. Alright, let's actually go ahead and start with the Knight of the Reliquary. Oh boy. At the beginning of combat, hold on, let's read it over here. At the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control with toughness 4 or greater get +2 and have vigilance until end of turn. Okay. This guy does not have flying, right? Does this give him flying? No, just vigilance. So he's a big boy, he's a beefy boy. He has 3 cards in hand. So far, nothing too threatening, honestly. Okay. Alright, nothing too threatening so far. A 7/4, huh? I mean, we can equip the Batter Skull to the Night Reliquary if need to be. But, or, yeah, I was going to say Scrib, but no, they have Reach. Okay, so they're going to get in for 9. Do we block here? Let's just go ahead and block. Since we're already making plans of equipping the Batter Skull, right? Because we have to keep up with this guy. It looks like this is like their way to victory. Probably is just pumping up this one dude. Okay, so let's go ahead and green, white. Play a land, green. We'll use Knight of the Reliquary here. We'll grab a Wooded Foothill. Forest. That's 5 mana. Then we're going to use here. Untap the Knight. Return the Forest. Then we will equip to the Knight here. And we will swing in for 12. And then next on their turn, we can use the Scrib Ranger again, and we're gonna have a massive night. If their game plan is to kill us by doing damage, it's gonna be very hard. They have 2 cards, and we have a lot of good ones in our hand. So they're not going to block, they're just going to take it, puts them down to 3. And again, I'm assuming that they're just some type of value deck that kind of just tries to go all in on one creature. If that's the case, like, we should be able to win this. So assuming they don't really play anything too relevant here, we're just going to activate the Knight, get rid of a Forest, then we're going to untap the Knight. Well, actually, no, we can't do that, because then we won't have a Forest to sacrifice. But that's fine. But as you can see, Scrib Ranger and Knight of the Reliquary, if we had Tracker, we would be going nuts right now. Such a good card. Underplayed for sure. So opponent didn't have anything to put into play. Yep. And that was it. That was it, folks. They've seen enough. The power of Knight of the Reliquary with Scrib Ranger with some equipment. Still good. Play another casual game here, and then we'll jump into like a couple like tournament practice games so we can sideboard. 9 a.m. I guess people are not awake at this time. It's Eastern time, so I guess people are probably sleeping. Anytime now. So that the deck that we played against earlier, just right now, I'm assuming that's a brew. I don't think that didn't. I've never seen that type of deck in Modern unless it's something new. I don't think so though. I've checked Goldfish. I don't remember seeing anything like that. But that's a cool thing about playing in the casual. You get to see a lot of like these little ideas and newer cards that maybe you haven't seen. Where when you do play the Modern tournament, you're gonna kind of see the same stuff. You know, the Burns, the Jund, the Trons, and then occasionally you run, you know, your Azuros Control, and occasionally you run into these random decks that play these cool, neat little interactions. Alrighty then. This is taking very long, my friends. Let's leave match. Let's try it one more time. Do 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 do. I haven't played too much Moto. I just got on it yesterday. Decided, you know what, I'm going to play some Magic the Gathering. I've been playing Magic since Ice Age. So a long time, on and off. So I've seen a lot of changes in Magic over the years. A lot. I was actually at a Legacy tournament when Modern first came out. And I remember I was playing Legacy Goblins. And they were promoting Modern as, hey, after this tournament, we're doing a free Modern tournament. And I remember just thinking, who would play this format that doesn't allow Wasteland, Dual Lands, and all the cards that we have grown up to love, right? Because at the time, Modern's like pool was very small compared to Legacy. The cards for Legacy weren't really expensive. I mean, they were expensive, but they're not like they are now. Like you can get, I remember getting Badlands for my Goblin deck for like $15 or something like that. And to be fair, at the time, for a Magic card, that was a lot of money. Like, you still had your Black Lotuses and your Moxes, but nobody really played Vintage, and those cards were always expensive. But, you know, $15, $20 for dual lands, maybe $40 for, like, Underground Seas. Like, that was a lot of money to spend on cardboard in those days. Now, it seems like a standard set comes out, and, like, the breakout card is, like, $40, $50. And to me, that's crazy. It's insane how much, how valuable a lot of these cards have become. And at the same time, how you see a lot of these cards get reprinted and then all of a sudden they just crash in price or they go up. It's very interesting. Alright, so let's just go to Modern tournament play. We're not having any luck with casual. Hopefully we'll have some luck here. And we are. And here we go. I wanted to play one more casual game just to kind of get into the motions of the clicking and interacting on Moto, because obviously it's very different than paper. And we're going to mulligan this. You know, that way we don't misclick, but, you know, it is what it is. Person is deciding, opponent is deciding whether or not to go first. And they're taking a while to decide this. Alright. Or maybe they were deciding if they wanted to mulligan. Mulligan. Ugh. We're going to mulligan this again. I mean, this is a good hand, like if we're playing against Tron, but obviously we don't know what we're playing against, and that's one of the downsides of playing decks like this. That... Yep, we have to mulligan. Alright. Should we... Oh boy, this is going to be... This is a keep. we got to put away 3 cards. So definitely this. Yeah. We're going to just concede here. The reason we're going to concede is because we're not going to win that game. And we're not going to be able to sideboard against them, but they're not going to be able to sideboard against us. And there's a possibility their sideboard could be, would you like to play first? Yes. Hopefully we get a decent hand here. Another 1-lander. We're going to keep it. Hopefully Noble lives. If Noble lives and we're going against a spell-based deck, we're going to be in good shape, or in decent shape, because we do have the Thalia to kind of set them back. And we also have the Stoneforge to apply pressure, and we also have a utility creature in Quasali Pride Mage. Which, because we are playing exalted creatures, can also be a threat. Okay. Birds of Paradise. This could be a Bant deck. Alright. So let's assume they're not a spell base heavy deck, because they are leading with Birds of Paradise. So let's get the let's try out this sword. Not drawing a land there was pretty painful. Okay, so they are a Serum Visions with a Birds of Paradise. Again, I haven't played Modern in so long that I don't know what this is. It's obviously a Bant deck. Teferi? Nope. Okay. Is this some type of combo deck? Can we draw land, please? Nope. Not a chance, folks. Not a chance. I just want to see how this interaction works here. Actually, we should just play the Batter Skull. We should have obviously waited. But I was initially going to play this to see how it interacts, because I've never played it on Moto. Hard to tell what we're trying to do right now. I mean, the basic is we have Batter Skull, then we can bring this in, attach it here, start attacking. Don't know what my opponent's up to. I'm assuming they probably have Teferi. Okay, sleight of hand. Oh man, we should have probably played the Thalia, huh? But obviously we would have not known this. This seems like a combo deck. Because you have your ramp, and then you have a lot of spells here. Seems like a combo deck. A combo deck that I have not seen. If you think waiting for a sleight of hand to resolve is painful, try playing Legacy when players are playing cards like Brainstorm, into Ponder, into Preordain. Yeah. Not fun, my friends, not fun. Especially on paper when all you see is shuffling after every cantrip. What do we have here? Okay. Yep. Thalia, and this is like, I'm assuming this is a real Modern deck. Possibly. I don't know, I haven't played in so long. But Thalia would have been so good here. Okay, another one. Now the question is, do we play lay Thalia, right? And like, I don't think we do. I think we just equipped this to the batter skull and start going to town. Okay. We have path on the ready. I don't think we're going to be needing it. We'll get in for 7 here. Hopefully they're a damage based combo deck, and by damage I mean not infinite. Alright, we can play Pride Mage. If they have a fetch land here, you know, if they can get down, yeah, if they have a fetch land or something that gets them down to 8, we can play Pride Mage next turn. Well, they do have the birds, but we can path the bird, right? Yeah, we can path the bird, play the Pride Mage, and get in for 8. All right. So they have 4 mana here. Okay, Jessica Ascendancy. Okay, Jessica Ascendancy. I've seen this card back in the day with Stitcher. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get turn. Whenever you cast a non-spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard. Okay. Serum Vision. Let's see what they do here. Okay, untap. So what we should have probably done here is path the bird in response. Hopefully they play a fetch land and crack it, man. And don't kill us this turn. Alright. Oh no, we put yield to all. You know what? Let's just do this now. I don't know what's going on. I guess I put yield to all and it didn't give me a chance to respond to this trigger. And I don't think the opponent tapped the birds for mana there either. Okay, opponent is going off. I'm trying to see how they kill us. Thalia would have been a freaking beast if we known what we were playing. Draw 3 cards, discard 3 cards. Okay. So they're generating a bunch of mana, drawing cards. Are they going to play like an Emrakul or something? Just a bunch of cantrips here. I do see these guys are getting massive, but they have defenders, so it doesn't really do anything. Alright, on Earth. See. Let's just always yield to this. Welcome to Modern, folks. Alright, I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm going to assume that we're going to die. Alright, so let's just concede. Let's not waste any time. We've seen enough. We've seen enough. So, obviously, if I knew what was going on, we would have had a better chance because we would have played Thalia instead of the Stoneforge Mystic. This is why it's so important to like understand the metagame when you're playing these green-white decks. Which is, you know, I understand that, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, I haven't played in a long time, and I have to play sometime, so this is how you learn. Alright. Is this a decent hand? I mean, we just have Stoneforge. This is a better hand. So we'll keep. We'll get rid of the path. Big L79 is probably playing okay. Undying. Man, do I feel completely lost in the modern metagame right now? Yup. We'll go with a forest. I'm assuming there's some type of aggressive deck. They could also be a combo deck. That's the thing about modern, right? Like creature decks, a lot of them are combo decks. Alright. Or they can be an extremely aggressive deck. Fortunately, we'll take that. So hopefully we can survive here. Long enough to slam down our Batterskull. Remember when people thought that Stoneforge Mystic and Jace were too broken to be in modern? Oh my god, you can get a Batterskull on the turn 3! Do you realize how slow this is, folks? Turn 3 Batterskull, is that all we got? I mean, like, we literally might die now, I think. Nope, we're not gonna die. But we are taking a beating. All of a sudden, Path would have been good, and Thalia would have been bad. I mean, Thalia is bad. Alright, so no Path. We can company here, or we can Batterskull. I think what we want to do is play Stoneforge Mystic. We're going to grab this sword here. This sword is pretty good. And then we're going to cast Batterskull on their turn. And then we're going to cast a sword and have this massive Batterskull. And hopefully that should buy us some time in order to get this company off and try to take over the game that way. Alright, so they're going to get in. Do we want? No, that's going to die anyways, right? Alright. I was thinking of blocking with the Stoneforge Mystic. I mean, I guess we could do this here. No, this is the Batterskull. What are you doing? What are you talking about? We need to stem the bleeding. Does this guy Undying? I guess we just block there, right? Now they're gonna have a massive Strangleroot Geist, but that's okay. Alright, so they have 2 cards in hand, they're gonna have 1. Okay, Wall of Roots, that's fine. Alright, so it looks like we have made a comeback. Batterskull is too strong. This sword is really good, actually. Very good. Alright, so I think the... yeah, we don't need to get rid of anything. We'll play another Stoneforge Mystic here. Go ahead and grab our last equipment. Just making sure here. Attack with the skull. I am very impressed with this sword. Very good. It's very good. Alright, so next turn, pretty basic. We're probably just going to equip the sword, right? And just go to town. Kill them. Can we kill them? 8, 9, 10. We can deal 10 in the air. Or they can just concede. Alright, so Leyline. So this could be good. We don't need Thalia. Thalia is probably not going to do anything. Voice of Resurgence is decent. Like, Voice actually might be good in this matchup over the Leylines. I think Voice is actually good against rather than the Leylines, and the reason is because in order for them to get value off their Undying, we have to kill their creatures, right? But if we can just put out bigger creatures and we can stem the bleeding with Voice, with blocks, like, it doesn't matter if they're getting Undying triggers, right? Because we will just win the game in the long term. Unless they have something in their back door that we're not aware of that can catch us by surprise. So, we know Stoneforge is good. But we also know they're a fast deck. Oh boy. Let's keep. This is a risky keep. This is a very risky keep because it's a slow keep. If they have a fast start, we could be in trouble. Nothing to see here, just the white plains. Alright, so they could play Strangle guys here, get in for 3. Then we play Stoneforge, take another 3, possibly 5 if they have another Strangle Root, or if they have a pump spell. Things could get pretty nasty. The bird is too late. Batterskull. So next turn, Batterskull plus birds. Assuming they don't play some crazy enchantment or artifact that we have to immediately get rid of. Otherwise we have the Pride Mage, but that should be the plan. If they play the same sequence they played last game, where they play the, man I forgot his name, the black creature that comes into play tapped, that deals 2, like we're good. If they don't play anything, that's obviously better, but I don't see that happening. Opponent is thinking here. They probably are thinking because they know this is coming down, and they're probably trying to figure out what's the best way to go around this. I mean, once Batterskull comes down, if they don't really have a extremely demanding board presence or a way to get rid of this, like they're not. Oh, there it is. There it is, folks. That's the game plan. Otherwise, they would have been in big trouble. I'm assuming they sideboarded that in. Alright, so no more threats on their end, no land. That's good news for us. Ooh, Collected Company, that's very good actually. Let's go ahead and actually get rid of this. Just in case we hit a Night Reliquary, we can already have some night mana. Alright, so birds. Pride Mage. And do we want to attack? Probably not. I mean, we can honestly block with the Stoneforge here. We're gonna have so much mana that, I mean, the Batterskull's in the graveyard. There's no way for us to get that back there. We're gonna be able to cast and equip anything, anyways. Beginning of combat. No, cancel. Let's go to block. So we'll block here and block here. Alright, triggers. That's fine. Opponent, luckily, oh, there he is. There he is! There he is! Should have not played that land, actually. Stoneforge, Noble Hierarch. Wait! Oh no! We misclicked. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Jesus Murphy. Well, that probably lost us the game. Let's just take this. So we obviously, oh man, so devastating, huh? Oh well, it is what it is. So let's go with white, green, voice. We're gonna attach this to the Pride Mage. flying and first strike. Okay, that's good. What a beating. So, even though we had that huge misplay, and I mean, it was just a Stoneforge, which we were probably going to go grab this sword with, and a Noble. So it wasn't anything too crazy that was going to like put us super far ahead. But although we had that huge misplay, the opponent has 7 cards. 7. So let's go ahead and see if we can get something good here. Not too shabby. Alright, so now we can start attacking. Because again, our opponent does have 7 cards, man, so their hand is probably locked and loaded. They are stuck on mana, so they're not going to probably be able to deploy all these cards, which is good news for us. And now, you know, they're kind of like in this awkward spot, right, where they can't really attack us, because then we'll have like this massive Voice of Resurgence. And this is why Voice is so good. Oh no. Oh no! Can we bounce this? Nope. That's fine. So we're gonna block here with the Voice. This token is gonna pretty much probably be able to block anything they play. Alright, Ghost Quarter. I mean, we could do the whole Ghost Quarter gimmick, but I think the best thing to do is let's just draw some cards. Not in the Reliquary, let's go. That's a good one. That's a good one, folks. Let's get in. Let's crack them for 6. Voice of Resurgence, smashing on through. Showing us, boys and girls, why he still deserves a spot in the green-white decks. Alright, and there it is. It is all over. Alright, well there you have it, my friends. Green-white Maverick, green-white company, mid-range, whatever you decide to call it for the modern format. I'll be playing this deck more this Sunday, actually. Just wanted to get in a few games here just to kind of get a feel for it, make sure that the deck choice that I chose was good. The deck did very well. I was pretty impressed. I mean, I think we won most of our games, if not all. Did we lose any? I think we lost one game, right, that we conceded because, like, it wasn't even that the deck wasn't working. We just mulliganed really bad. But, yeah, the deck, very strong. The sword, that Mao sword, very impressive. Stoneforge Mystic, Thalia. The game that we did lose, like, Thalia would have put in some work there. So I'm still going to keep Thalia in the deck. So I'm going to keep it how it is. I think we're just going to continue playing it how it is. Skyclave Operation, we didn't see any of it. But just looking at the games that we played, the card would have easily like destroyed most of the decks we were playing against. So that's really good. But again, man, the MVP, the Smile of Skyclaves. Wow, that card is insane. Really good in this deck. So, see you guys on Sunday. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to go to my YouTube channel, hit like, subscribe. I'll be posting all my content from Twitch onto my YouTube. And again, man, thank you guys for watching, and peace out.